Okay, everybody, I got a new guy that I chased after. His name is Noel Sanchez from Dodgers Nation, correct? I saw you one time. I said, I gotta get this guy. It was well done, and I wanted to I wanted to have a Dodger reporter. I want to get into it. What do you think about your starting pitching right now?
Man, it's just I would say the main word is just super unfortunate. We've seen year after year, particularly last year going into the postseason, so many of our guys injured, so many of our guys not very experienced. Fast forward a year later, despite trading for Tyler Glass, now Clayton Kershaw re-signing with the team. It's super unfortunate to see all the injuries that they've sustained and really just the uncertainty. You have guys like Bobby
Hmm.
Miller, Walker Buehler, who you were hoping to lean on heavily, and Bobby Miller, he's dealt
Okay. Um, I lost a connection. He's rolling too.
and Walker Buehler, I mean,
Okay, there
multiple
it
Tommy
goes.
John surgeries. His confidence is just super shaky as well right now. And then the
Oh,
two guys who were doing really well, Tyler Glass now, Gavin Stone, probably out for the rest of the season. So I feel like that's definitely the Dodgers' weakest spot right now. And we're really gonna
yes. All right, we're back. We were having technical difficulties. You were talking about the starting pitching.
yeah. So starting pitching, I'll kind of start off where it's from the beginning again. So yeah, I would say just the situation just super unfortunate right now, man, because you take a look at the Dodgers last postseason. You had guys like Clayton Kershaw, Bobby Miller, Ryan Pepio. Those are the three you were looking at to start those games. And I mean, the Dodgers can't even make it past game three. Fast forward a year later, despite trading for Tyler Glass now, trading for Jack Flaherty, signing Yamamoto. Once again, injuries have taken the starting rotation and just kind of ripped them apart. Tyler Glass now Gavin Stone likely out for the rest of the season. Bobby Miller, he's dealt with his own injuries, hasn't really looked like himself. Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, same thing. So we're really going to have to lean heavily on Jack Flaherty and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto's a rookie. He hasn't played postseason
What do you
baseball in
think about him in the postseason?
yeah, so I mean, I love what I've seen from him so far
Okay.
this year. And he walked into Yankee Stadium and he had an amazing game. He came back from missing almost 3 months being on the IL and he's already picked up where he left off. But the postseason is a different animal. Everybody that I've talked to within the organization has said there's nothing rookie about him. He's ready for the moment. So
Hey, rookies have performed well in the postseason. Fernando Valenzuela.
exactly,
Man,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. I Another thing that's concerned me is the back end of the lineup.
No, yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of question marks there. You have Chris Taylor, who, he hasn't really been able to find himself. He's done better the second half of the season, but you take a look at the beginning of the season, there were a lot of fans saying to DFA him despite all the history he's out with the team. You have Kike Hernandez, who's probably not going to be in every game, but he's been able to show up in the postseason. Andy Pajes, who's dealt with being moved from the minor leagues to the major leagues. So there's a lot of question marks in that back end of the lineup. I think LA is going to rely heavily on the stars to get those early runs.
Definitely. You know what I failed to mention? You know what really hurts your pitching is Urias.
Oh, 100%,
Oh
100%.
man.
Super unfortunate. I mean, especially with the timing now that the video just came out of everything that happened. So, yeah, just super unfortunate to see that talent and, what he had to endure
Hmm.
off the field.
Now, how about your guy Otani, 50-50? He's clearly the MVP and he is the guy right now.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I think right before we record this, he just hit his 52nd home run of the season.
Mm.
The man walked into the Miami Marlins Stadium, gave us the 51-51 entry to the club, came back to Dodger Stadium and did an encore for the fans, hit the 52nd home run. So, I mean, I think that game was at Miami was probably the greatest offensive performance I've seen in my lifetime. Like, he was 6 for 6, 10 RBIs, 3 home runs, ridiculous.
This sport, it's just not it's not creating any buzz. If you get Otani and Betts and those guys kind of giving a run with a big market like LA, if somehow LA could make a run with Otani hitting home runs, I think that you're going to garner attention. You're going to garner some of the attention away from NCAA and the NFL and all that because the MLB needs the Dodgers in there, and if they could use the Yankees. I mean, they would love that. but especially the Dodgers with Ohtani and the way he internationally and all that. What do you think?
I mean, I agree 100%. My personal dream World Series is Dodgers Yankees,
Me
but
too.
regardless, if you have the Dodgers name out there, if you have a global superstar in Ohtani, I mean, I think during the WBC, around 60% of Japanese households were tuned in. That's a ridiculous amount of
Yeah,
people watching an American sport, watching him represent. So I think definitely Dodgers World Series would really help the sport.
I do want to tell you this. I went to the Dodger when I went out to LA to see the Dodgers and Yankees. That atmosphere was off the chart. Your stadium rocks, man. I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you,
absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Now you need my garbage Cubs to beat the Phillies, so you can stay. And now the Cubs are out of it. They're dangerous now. They
Yeah.
are dangerous now. I just want to warn the Phillies, but you got to get home field. You don't want to walk into Citizens Park at a game 6 and 7. You want 6 and 7 in LA. If you get that far and you have to run to them, you want Dodger Stadium rocking for a deciding game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, see on our live show, Dodgers Dug Live, we have a lot of fans
Mm-hmm.
that I think a couple weeks ago they were questioning if the Dodgers should continue trying to win out the regular season, try to clinch that NL West. Because recent years, when they have this break in the wild card, they're not playing, then they fizzle out in the first round. I
Yeah.
respectfully disagree with that
Oh
take because
yes.
this current roster is much different than the past two we've seen, and the Dodgers need home field advantage. We're trying to go all the way this year.
Yeah, you need home field because you're gonna have rookies. You don't want a rookie pitching in Citizen Park in that small park in game 7. You want the crowd behind your young pitchers. That's such a great take.
No, absolutely, man. I agree with you, Ron. And like, the jitters in the postseason, it's different. You could have the best stretch of pitching in the regular season, but when the stars come to bat, pitchers need to be locked in. Pitchers need that support from their crowd. And, when you get through that third, fourth, fifth inning, that's really when you need to make sure everything counts. The room for error is this much right here in the
You know what?
postseason.
I've all these years I've been a baseball fan. There's a certain format when it comes to the playoffs. You got to have a great number one. You got to have a number two that really functions like a number one, 1A, good three. You got to have middle relief and a closer that catches fire in September going on to October because relievers and middle relievers, they can be hot and cold, but you want your established middle and closer. You want that set. So when the seventh, eighth, and ninth come, you got the game, you got the lead. Okay, let's close them out. And when it
No,
comes to
absolutely.
lineup, you want a bopper. You want a couple boppers. You want a guy that hits for average that takes pitches. But you got one more element I want to put on you. And you is like a Kiki Hernandez kind of guy. You want a swashbuckling wild card that might have hit 200 all year long that just catches fire and hits 400 where you never saw him coming. That's kind of been the formula that wins World Series.
No, 100%. I think starting off with their first that strong number one and number two that can take care of business. You're gonna have those games where your team is
Mm-hmm.
only gonna hit two, 3 runs, and really the way you win the game is by shutting down the other team's offense. So by starting off with a good number one, then having that number two that can carry that momentum in the NLCS, in the World Series, that's really the difference maker.
Definitely,
And people have
definitely.
questioned why he's still on this team at times, but he does all the little things. He comes to play in the postseason, and he's a guy that's gonna get in there and be ready.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you always have to watch those wild card teams. And you have San Diego, Arizona, either the Mets or Braves when they play each other next week. That's going to decide. You got to be careful because Arizona, you know how they caught fire. San Diego's got talent. So, is there any one particular team that you worry about?
See, man, like I'm the type of fan where the team that I worry about, I want to see them early. So,
Yeah.
and that
Okay.
team is I need that rematch. That'll be cinema. The names on that team. There's been a lot of good feel the past couple years between the Dodgers and the Padres, and as much as they scare me, they got talent. They have a bullpen that's built for the postseason, and they made some moves at the deadline. But I want to see them, regardless of how good they
I
are. I want to see
understand.
them perform.
You want to pay them back. I got it. You want to get them. You want to get your little brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I see in your background my Lakers. That's pretty good. You already scored points with me, Kobe. I actually had a chance to interview Kobe. I'm gonna send you that.
That's
when they played
amazing.
the Nets in the finals when I was just coming out of Rutgers University. That was kind of awesome. So you're headed there. I could see you interviewing Muncie and Otani. I see all that.
Thank you,
So
thank you. That's the goal for sure.
yes, definitely. You know what you got to watch out for when it comes, and you know Major League Baseball, a team like the Tigers. Where did they come from?
Oh, oh yeah, crazy. You always have those sleeper teams, that are gonna come out there. They play sneaky baseball all year, kind of fly under the radar, and then as the year goes on, you see habits start to form. And that's the beautiful thing about baseball. Like,
Mm-hmm.
really, any team can win on any given night. Like when it comes to predicting the World Series champion, it's for
It definitely is. But you got to watch a team like Detroit that gets in, and the favors like Yankees and Cleveland and Houston. There's more pressure. Detroit has playing with house money if they get in. They're like, hey man, we're gonna lose. We're predicted to lose anyway. We might as well make this run. And all of a sudden, they're in the first round, the second round. All of a sudden, they're in the World Series. They're like, where did they come from? The baseball's like that, man.
exactly. And I think that's the most fun thing about it is that you have those teams, like you said, nothing to lose. They're gonna go out there, play their hearts out, no pressure. They know all the betting odds are against them, and that's where you see the biggest upsets happen. So yeah, man,
Mm-hmm.
a team like Detroit, they got the tools to do something crazy for sure.
Now, you know what I believe about the Dodgers? I think because they've lost in the first round. They're going to be very hungry. I don't know about if your pitching can hold up. I just have a feeling Otani's going to go on a roll. I think that's a X factor. Uh, I just have a feeling that they are going to make that run if you can pitch and close. How do you feel about your closer?
Yeah, closing is pretty interesting right now. I mean, picking up Michael Kopech from the Chicago White Sox, that was,
That was good.
man, where we would be right now.
That was
Huge.
great.
Evan Phillips has been my guy too. Unfortunately, he's had some ups and downs this year. He hasn't been exactly the guy we want to see. But I mean, when you have Bruzdar, you got Alex Vesia, you got dudes that are going to bring the energy that can get the job done late in innings. It's really just going to be about taking care. Really like what I've seen from Michael Kopech. He's taking a step further, saying he wants to be a starter again at some point. I'd rather see him stay in the bullpen, but
Okay,
I,
what about Kershaw inning 5, 6, and 7 in those big games?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it at this point.
Okay.
I think Kershaw and Jared What's in LA for the Dodgers. He said this too. He came on our show, said Kershaw's willing to do whatever it takes to win. If it means coming out of the bullpen, if it means pitching a couple innings and not starting the game. So I personally would be okay with seeing that. I think he would do good.
You know why? Because you could just say, listen, you got 2 or 3 innings. Don't worry about pitching innings. You got 2 or 3 innings and let it rip. Keep us in the game. Be the bridge to the closer. So I think that would be a good idea.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think this point in Kershaw's career, he needs to evolve and show the different type of player that he's become. Everybody respects what he's done in the past. Everybody knows that he should have been champion. But if he can sacrifice and he could help this team in any way that he can, even if it means not starting the game, like you said, not pitching 6, 7 innings, it would be great for his career and it would show that he just wants to win again. He wants to give LA a parade.
That's what they need. I remember you were deprived in 2020. So what do you think the key is for you to get to this parade?
I mean, I think you said it best, Ron. I think our pitching is really going to say it all. We know what this offense can do. We know what the MV3 and Mookie, Otani, and Freddie can do when healthy. And we've seen guys like Teo, we've seen guys like Andy Pajes, Miguel Rojas, Kike Hernandez come up on the
Hmm.
offense. It's really going to be about getting that tone down with our pitching staff, seeing what a Yoshinobu Yamamoto could potentially do in a game one, seeing how a Jack Flaherty can thrive pitching for his hometown team, seeing how maybe even like a rookie Landon can do in the postseason if he's asked to start a
Hmm.
game. So pitching is definitely going to be the key. Offense is going to look a lot different this year compared to the past 2 years.
Before I let you go, one more guy that could really be a key, and that's Max Muncy.
Oh yeah, big time. Funcy Muncy, man. The unfortunate thing about him getting hurt this year is that he was on track to have his best season on both sides. He was playing great defense at third base, but he's kind of come back from his weird back injury that he had and just fully gone back into gear. And I mean, he really is the bridge between the top of the lineup and the bottom of the lineup. If he's producing, this Dodgers team is scary, and I know you've seen that too.
Hmm. Yeah, I understand that. Hey, I gotta let you go. You were fantastic. I'm gonna keep you on. When I can't wait for the playoffs, man. I can't wait for the
Exactly, man.
playoffs and them late night times. I try to get you on when I'm tired, and West Coast time is no problem for you, but I don't care because I love this time of year, dude.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.